In a small, quiet town nestled between rolling hills and green fields lived a gentle cat named Whiskers. She was no ordinary cat. Her fur was a patchwork of gray and white, and her eyes, one green and one blue, seemed to hold stories of 100 lifetimes. Whiskers belonged to the Miller family. Mr. and Mrs. Miller had just welcomed a baby into their lives, little Emily, a soft, rosy-cheeked bundle, who cried gently and smiled like sunshine on a rainy day. At first, Whiskers wasn't sure what to make of the tiny human who had suddenly taken over the house. The once quiet rooms were now filled with cries, giggles, lullabies, and the sound of things being moved, shaken, or dropped. Her soft perch by the window was now covered with toys, and her favorite napping spot on the couch had a new occupant, Emily. Whiskers watched from a distance, keeping her tail curled tightly around her paws. The baby smelled different. She made odd noises. She took everyone's attention. Still, something about Emily drew Whiskers closer. One afternoon, Mrs. Miller had put Emily in her crib and left the room to make a bottle. Whiskers quietly padded in and hopped up onto the edge of the crib. She peered in cautiously. Emily was wide awake, waving her tiny arms and legs in the air, her blue eyes staring up at the ceiling. The baby turned her head and saw Whiskers. A smile bloomed across her face, and to Whiskers' surprise, she giggled, a high-pitched bubbling sound that made the cat's ears perk up. Whiskers tilted her head. She leaned in, gave Emily a sniff, and then gently rubbed her head against the baby's soft arm. Emily squealed in delight, trying to grab at Whiskers' ear. From that moment, a quiet bond began to form. As the days passed, Whiskers grew more comfortable around Emily. She'd curl up near her crib, keeping a watchful eye while Emily slept. When the baby woke in the middle of the night crying, Whiskers would run to the parents' room, meowing until someone got up. When Emily began crawling, Whiskers would stay just out of reach, playfully teasing her to move faster. When Emily laughed, Whiskers purred. Mrs. Miller often watched them together with a smile. "I think Whiskers has adopted Emily," she would say, brushing her daughter's fine hair while Whiskers sat nearby, flicking her tail. One rainy afternoon, the power went out. The house was dim and quiet. Emily began to cry, frightened by the sudden darkness. Mr. and Mrs. Miller were trying to find candles and flashlights, stumbling in the dark. Whiskers leapt up to the crib, her glowing eyes comforting in the gloom. She let out a soft, musical purr and pressed her body close to Emily's. The baby, sensing her friend's presence, stopped crying and reached out, grabbing a handful of soft fur. Whiskers didn't mind. She stayed there, purring and warm, until the lights came back. As Emily grew, so did her connection with Whiskers. She learned to stand by grabbing onto the cat's tail, which Whiskers didn't appreciate at first. But she never clawed, never hissed. She simply moved slowly, letting Emily learn at her pace. By the time Emily turned 2, Whiskers had become more than a pet. She was a teacher, a companion, and a silent guardian. She was there for tea parties, nap time, playtime, and even scoldings. One spring morning, Emily toddled outside with Whiskers